Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, May 27th, 2021 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I find balance between my knowledge and my wisdom. Woo! And so as of now, we have passed the eclipse, the first eclipse, and we are in the eclipse corridor. And I always say it is the time between the two eclipses that so much work is done. And the astro is definitely pushing us into that. Now, the main message that I get for this time is, until further notice, question everything. So whatever you tune into, whether it is held knowledge or wisdom that you have, or, learning new things, question it. Just question it with your body, your soul, your spirit, your heart, and your mind. Does this fit with you? Does this feel aligned with these pieces? And even if it feels aligned with all the pieces except one, be willing to go deeper and investigate. That is what Sagittarius Gemini polarities is all about. The investigation, looking deeper, exploring, being very curious, and being willing to question anything and everything. Because things that are sound, they will stick. And things that are not sound, wouldn't you like to know? Right? So, until further notice, question everything. That being said, oh my goodness, the astro is definitely pushing us into the work. We have the moon in Sagittarius, making several connections. In fact, we have a mutable T-square. So mutable T-square is where we are called into change, but it can feel kind of like a crossroads. And again, we're taking in so much information from the mutable signs that we're not really sure which way we're meant to go. So this will be the moon. The moon, actually, it's more than a T-square. It really is a mutable grand square, if I'm looking at this right. So we have the moon in Sagittarius opposite the sun and the nodes in Gemini and Sagittarius. And then we have, oh no, it is just a T-square. Sorry, we don't have anything hanging out in Virgo. Sorry. So then we have Neptune energy squaring Venus in Gemini and opposing the moon. So here's where we have a T-square, not a grand square. Virgo's sitting this one out, and that is smart. This energy is really interesting, especially coming off the eclipse, especially, building into the second eclipse. Venus energy brings forth the light of relationships, our worth, finances, money, abundance, and this squaring Neptune can bring up really deep issues. Now, it's also interesting because Neptune is conjunct Pallas. Sorry, words are really hard right now as we build to this Mercury retrograde. Pallas energy can represent patriarchal, we'll call it patriarchal undertow with this. And just the fact that it's connected to Neptune, conjunct Neptune in the sign of Pisces, means that these are some really deep patriarchal roots that we are following. Now, with this square between Neptune and Venus, and even the moon feeding in, this could be past life stuff coming up from other lifetimes, but you're finding it in your relationship. This could be past life stuff around finances, and this is coming up in your life now. There's multiple layers. The worth stuff too. Be very aware of the worth stuff. There's multiple layers how this is going to show up. What we do need to be aware of, card on top, the burden energy. Cock on the head, right? I actually have quite a few mental cards, which makes sense with all this Gemini energy that we've got going on. I actually have 3 swords cards, and I really like this one, which we'll dig into it. Watch for the stories that come up. Now, it's not to say that these stories that come up are wrong or don't have validity. The stories that come up are giving you a chance to offer yourself healing around whatever these stories are. And again, recognizing this may go deep. Now, you want to remember the Sabian symbol from the eclipse, that old owl sitting on the branch of a tree. try to see these stories from a higher perspective in order to see, like, oh, here's where the root is, or here's where this energy is really taking me and going. This is the same thing when it comes to anything past life. You don't have to know the facts. You don't have to know if it's true. This is where we trip ourselves up. This is where we start to overthink it. This is where we overlogic something. Just the fact that you can tell a story means it has some kind of connection in you. Be willing to go into that connection and offer yourself healing balm, offer yourself love, offer yourself balance, whatever it is that you need in this energy. Now, again, we can get really caught up in the mental games with all of this. We can get caught up in, well, is this right or is this right, and what's really true? And again, coming back into yourself, this is where that Virgo energy, coming back into yourself, the whole participation crew, body, mind, spirit, soul, heart, getting that all on the same page, that's where we really want to be. And noticing when something is not on the page with everything. So this energy is definitely interesting. I do want to say as well, eclipses do bring up the energy. It can bring up challenges in relationship because it is about like this relationship between the sun and the moon. So between that and then Neptune squaring Venus, just be very aware of this coming up. Be aware of hidden things. Be aware of illusions coming to light in this. And it's interesting because I have the compromise card, which is, I call it the don't compromise card, coming up for the astro energies as well. Be aware. When you are compromising, is this aligned with you, body, mind, spirit, soul, heart? Or are you compromising and giving too much of yourself, or giving too little of yourself, or not even giving yourself? There's so many ways that you may find this showing up, and chances are these roots go much, much, much deeper. We are going to have the moon void, of course, which is probably going to aid in full moon hangover. I am feeling that myself today. I'm like zombie today. As of this recording. So moon going void, of course, may encourage and increase that energy. Do try to take it easy. There's a lot of transformation available to us and for us during eclipse season, but we also have to be available to that. Moon will shift into Capricorn, which will be new and other lessons for us. How are you showing up? What is your personal responsibility? And the moon will connect to Jupiter, which is saying, going back in to these energies, use your illusion, daydream. Part of your responsibility for your life is daydreaming. Part of your responsibility for your life is being able to tune into the vision. So I'm going to leave this here for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and stay curious. Namaste.